Welcome everyone to Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix and home of the Formula One World Championship, where the very first F1 World Championship Grand Prix took place back in 1950. To this present day, it remains a firm favourite amongst fans and drivers alike. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and of Copse flat out. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Stroll, Sargent, Joe, Ocon, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Sorry, we didn't have the pace. I gave everything. Great job.
Lando Norris, take a bow. At last, a winner in Formula One.
To come here and take victory as a team today on home soil was so important. You can see how much it means to them. The drivers there doing their part. The team's strategy was perfect as well. And the fans really embraced that. What a great atmosphere we had here today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.